Inna alhamdulillah, thumma salatu wa salam ala rasul. We thank Almighty Allah again for His immense bounty and mercy on all of us, and our family, and our country, and the Muslim all over the world in general. We pray Almighty Allah to continue His blessing on us, and may He ease the affairs of all our brothers and sisters in the challenge areas. You are welcome again to our monthly joint ASCAR, National Monthly Joint ASCAR. And as we have explained by the moderator, today we are still going to continue in the study of the Ibrahim model, being the theme for this year. We want to look at his family relationship, how he has been able to manage his family, and how he has been able to excel in such an environment. We thank Allah for the organization, and we appreciate everybody that's joining this call all over the world, even though it is not convenient for some people, but because of the love of Allah and His Rasul for this organization, they have to structure their attendance. We pray Allah to let us benefit therein. On this note, I welcome all of us to this session. May Allah make it beneficial for us in this world and the hereafter. Jazakumullah khairan. Over to you, Saeed.
Now, Jazakumullah khairan, sir. Like you said, like the coordinator has already said, we will be continuing. We have talked about understanding Ibrahim's family relationship, so we can lead exemplary, or we can establish exemplary family bond. There is a need for us to understand that we should see this avenue for us to learn, and most importantly, look at how we can implement that in our day-to-day activity, particularly in our families, with the understanding that if we all have a very good established families, we have a better society and a better nation. So on that note, I would like to ask our facilitator, Imam, Professor Taofiq AbdulAzeez, to please unmute himself to commence his presentation. So you're still muted, sir. We need you to unmute yourself.
Okay. Yeah. Have I been unmuted? I think I've been unmuted.
Yes, we can hear you now.
We can hear you, sir.
Okay. Auzubillahi samina alimna shaitan rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi wahdahu. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahabatihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I seek refuge in Allah against the accursed shaitan. I begin in the mighty name of Allah, the ever gracious, the ever merciful. All praise is due to Allah. We thank Him. We seek forgiveness of our sins from Him. We put all our trust in Him. We seek Allah's protection against the evils of our arms and our hearts. I bear witness that none deserves to be worshipped except Allah alone, the guardian of the righteous. And I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is Allah's apostle and also His servant. I seek Allah's justest blessings upon him, upon members of His worthy household, His courageous companions, and upon all those who will continue to follow their footsteps till the day of accounting. Thereafter, I extend the best courtesy to my Savior. Allah's peace and blessings abide with us. Good morning and welcome to our joint Askar. We thank Allah for His favors that we know, the ones we don't know, the ones we can't know, and the ones we shouldn't know. We thank Allah for the gift of life, the gift of faith, security, peace of mind, good health, and happiness, all of which combine to make this morning's appointment possible and also easy. We ask Allah to accept our gratitude and increase His favors in these and other regards in our lives. we are going to briefly look at a few instances of family bonding from three perspectives in the lives of our father Ibrahim, his wives, his children, and his grandchildren. In order to prevent time consummation so that we won't consume much time, we are going to just tell us, alaikum salam, that there are recitations to be made, there are references in the Quran. We are not likely going to read the Quran in order to save time. We are not going to do tafsir, but we are going to make references to various parts of the Quran. Before we go on, I want to observe that this month's joint askar was not properly mobilized first. There was no proper mobilization, and for a long time I was looking for the link. This is unprecedented. We don't always do it this way. There used to be a reminder, and I think we should probably take note of this so that we won't be, getting people out of the benefits. Inshallah ta'ala, I'm going to mix the mode and the medium of presentation because of the our people who are mostly artisans who would like to benefit maximally from this endeavor. We plead with our people too, who do not speak Yoruba, to bear with us when we begin to use Yoruba for this presentation. We ask you to pardon us and to also try to understand us. Nǹkan tí a fẹ́ sọ ní àárọ̀ yìí, a gbìyànjú láti máa lọ sínú Quran, láti máa ṣe tafsir, so that a ní lo àsìkò tó pọ̀. We want to look at the life of Ibrahim in family bonding from three perspectives. A fẹ́ wo ìgbésí ayé baba ńlá wa Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam láti ọ̀nà mẹ́ta. The three perspectives are the perspective of problems associated with great men. How did he have and manage his own share of family crisis? Every great man must have crisis in his family. The greater you are, perhaps the greater your crisis in your family. So how did Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam manage his family crisis and then bonded them? In spite of the crisis, he still bonded the family. Two, how did he approach the family from the three angles of family bond: ascendants, descendants, and central. Ascendant, descendant, and core. This core is what we call the nuclear family. His ascendant is the father. Allah only mentioned the father. Allah did not mention his mother. What was his relationship with his father? So that as a child who has no wife and children, as a child who has no husband and children. How do you bond with your parents? You cannot escape from from Ibrahim. You can escape from Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You can say there is no textual evidence of his relationship with his mother, and he had no father. His father had died before he was born. He was born an orphan. But Ibrahim had a father, and Allah deliberately did not mention his mother, because mothers are only emotionally attached to children. They don't have authority over the children. It's only their emotions that play out and then make it easy for them to control their children. And the control that mothers usually have over their children, this control is usually such that an average child hardly is able to get out of the control of the mother because of the emotional attachment of children to their mothers. So when a mother objects to anything, can Alimi shift so that I can have my video? Tawhid Alimi is obstructing video. Yeah, can you shift? Thank you.
I'll
You
have to
can
pin you,
stop your own video.
My video is not, so I'll have to
Thank
pin
you.
you. Don't worry, sir. You can go ahead.
All right. So the point we are making here is that we're going to look at it from the ascendant angle, his relationship with his father. 2, his relationship with his children and grandson. 3, his own nuclear family. His own nuclear family. Maybe we start from his father and then his nuclear family, and then we go to his relationship with his grandson. Briefly, we have read in Surah Al-An'am and in other places his interaction with his father. Let's look at 3 things. There are so many. I counted 7, but because of time, let us look at 3 so that we'll be able to manage it, and then we may be able to contribute, and you may be able to grind it very well. Number 1, he asked a fundamental question from his father, and it is, who is my Lord? And his father answered naturally, according to the status quo in the society. And this status quo is not limited or peculiar to his own environment. It is a nearly global status quo. Yorubas will say, Baba eni lọlọ́run ẹni. Your father is your God. And the wife will refer to her husband as Oluwa mi, my Lord. So it is fairly global that the father is like a God in the family. So the father simply told him, I am your God. And then he said, who is your own Lord? And he said, Firaun. And this is also fairly global. We tend to make gods out of people who have authority over us. Nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí Ibrahim yìí kò ń ṣe ìran wọn àti àdúgbò wọn nìkan ni irú ẹ̀ tí máa ń ṣẹlẹ̀. Nǹkan tó máa ń ṣẹlẹ̀ káàkiri àgbáńlá ayé ni wípé bàbá máa ń jẹ́ Ọlọ́run fún ọmọ. Nígbà tí Ibrahim béèrè lọ́wọ́ bàbá rẹ̀ wípé ta lọ́lọ́run mi, ó lóun ni, bàbá ẹ̀ ní èmi ni, ọlọ́dà ta lọ́lọ́run tiẹ̀, ó ní náà mo ní. Torí pé bó ṣe máa ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nìyẹn pé àwọn tó bá jẹ́ ọba wọ́n máa ń pè wọ́n ní aláṣẹ ìkejì òrìṣà wípé is a second God. So Ibrahim left this situation and went to Namrud himself and now asked him, who is my Lord? Ó lọ sọ́dọ̀ Namrud, ó ní wọ́n sọ pé wọ́n lọ́lọ́run rẹ̀, ta lọ́lọ́run tèmi, ó ní bàbá ẹ̀ ni, ta lọ́lọ́run bàbá mi, ó lóhun ni, ó ní ta lọ́lọ́run tiẹ̀. Kò sẹ́ni tó béèrè irú ìbéèrè yìí rí. You know, he was trying to establish the correct, healthy, spiritually healthy relationship. He wanted to situate himself in the society to be a unique person that will not be taken for granted and taken as just one person. So what did Ibrahim do? Ó sọ fún Namrud wípé ta lọ́lọ́run tiẹ̀, tó bá jẹ́ pé bàbá mi lọ́lọ́run mi, ìwọ sì lọ́lọ́run bàbá mi, ta lọ́lọ́run tiẹ̀? Nobody has asked this question before. So Ibrahim fira ẹ̀ lọ́lẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹni tí wọ́n lè fi ọwọ́ tì sẹ́yìn, tí wọ́n lè lò bí omi òjò, tí wọ́n lè sọ di handkerchief, tí wọ́n lè sọ di screwdriver, tí wọ́n lè ṣe bí wọ́n ṣe ń ṣe oníkálùkù ní àárín ìlú, wọ́n lè ṣe òun bẹ́yẹn. Òun yàtọ̀, ó sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀, ó fi ìmọ̀ àti ìgbàgbọ́ sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ di ọ̀gá. So òun ò wá lọ́gàá mọ́. In tí ó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ sí gbogbo ọmọ Ibrahim nìyẹn, tó bá fi ìmọ̀ àti ìgbàgbọ́ ṣe rẹ̀ lọ́jọ́, tí kò béèrè wípé báwo náà ṣe ń ṣe nílùú, òun náà fẹ́ ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀, tó béèrè wípé báwo lọ́lọ́run ṣe fẹ́ ká ṣe, tó dẹ̀ ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀. Now, Ànábì Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam wá sọ wípé Ọlọ́run tèmi ni ọba tí ó mú òòrùn yọ ní ibùyọ, ìwọ mú òòrùn tiẹ̀ wá ní ibùwọ̀, fàbúítà alladhi kafar. Ọlọ́run wá dójú ti kèfèrí. He told Namrud, yeah, you say you are God, you are not, because my God is the one that brings the sun from the east, bring your own sun from the west. And the kafir was disgraced. And this is the first relationship. Yeah, of course, the relationship, the social, spiritual, and political relationship that Ibrahim was trying to establish was started from home, from his father, who was the immediate spiritual and political authority over him. No, actually, it is supposed to be only political and economic authority, because his means of livelihood will still depend on his father. And his father will directly command him and authorize him to take particular action and forbid him from taking particular action. This is political authority. But if he did not establish himself as an independent person, the message he was going to bring was going to be compromised. The father was going to just neutralize him, knock him out. That is why he combined political and spiritual interrogation to establish himself as a separate authority contra subculture. Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam only respect bàbá ẹ̀, kó fún bàbá ẹ̀ ní ọ̀wọ̀, kó kàn mọ́ tẹríba fún bàbá ẹ̀ lásán, ṣùgbọ́n bàbá yìí ó lò nílò omi òjò. Bàbá yìí kò ní jẹ́ kó gbérí, torí wípé ìgbàgbọ́ wọn nígbà náà yóò ṣe àkóbá fún ètò ọrọ̀ ajé àti ìpaniláṣẹ nínú ìlú yẹn. So òun náà wá di ẹrú fún bàbá ẹ̀ àti fún Namrud, ọlọ́run bàbá ẹ̀. So náà wá dàbí gbogbo àwọn aráàlú tó jẹ́ pé wọn ò jámọ́ nǹkan kan lọ́dọ̀ Namrud. So òun fi ìbéèrè yìí establish ara ẹ̀ wípé I am not a common person. You must interrogate your society, but you must start from home so that your father will not neutralize you when you go to the public to challenge the status quo. Your father will already know. And usually, like Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who had no father, but he had a grandfather and an uncle. The political authority in the life of the child and the missionary will not cooperate with him. Why? So that there won't be feud in the society. If the father had cooperated, it's just an observation. I didn't read it anywhere. If the father of Ibrahim had accepted the message from Ibrahim, cooperated with him, the whole society will have exterminated the family. They would just have eliminated his father and himself. But the father still belonged to the opposition, the larger society. So they will be looking at Ibrahim like they were looking at Muhammad as a single rebel. So they were not looking at him as a representative of his family, so that the family will not be in trouble, so that the whole town, the whole nation will not attack the family. Ọlọ́run sábà ṣe wípé kí bàbá tàbí ẹni tó bá kù ní bàbá fún òjíṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run kó má gbà fún. Ẹ rí wípé Ọlọ́run ò dákọ bàbá Musa, ìyá ẹ̀ lọ́lọ́run sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ẹ̀. Kò lè sí ìṣòro tí bàbá ẹ̀ ò bá ti tẹ̀lé, kò lè sí ìṣòro. Bàbá Ibrahim kò gbà tiẹ̀. Kó má bàa já sí pé àwọn aráàlú wà gbógun ti ìdílé wọn, tí wọ́n bá ti pa bàbá ẹ̀ tán pa òun náà, iṣẹ́ yẹn pin nìyẹn. Bọ̀ tó bá ń rí wípé ọmọ yìí ló ya ìyàkuyà, ọmọ yìí ló jẹ́ òbílẹ̀jẹ́, ló jẹ́ adáhunṣe láàrin ìlú. The father is with us. They will single out the child and face him. So wọ́n dá ojú sọ ọmọ yẹn nìkan bí wọ́n ṣe ṣe fún Muhammad náà nìyẹn sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So ó jọ bí ẹni wípé ikma láti ọ̀dọ̀ Ọlọ́run ni wípé your father will not always be in agreement with you if you are a revolutionary. My own father became my friend just shortly before he died. He explained to me that he had always been together with me, but he had publicly objected. He was publicly with the traditional clerics. And he never told me until very late. In fact, I was almost 50 when he told me that he agreed with everything that I had preached. And it was until he died. I didn't know that he was also a rebel in his own family. So he was happy that I took after him, but he never told me. He never supported me publicly. So from there, I began to see the reason why the uncle of the Prophet ﷺ never accepted Islam. But he was supporting him, he loved him, and the Prophet loved him too. The Prophet wished he publicly declared Islam. But in his wisdom, Allah did not make him accept, so that the whole Meccan society will not face the family, isolate and, execute the Prophet. They were only able to persecute him. They were not able to eliminate him. So father's support is not always wise to be public when the child is right, but in a minority. If the child is a minority, it is not wise for the father to give public support, public embrace of the minority, but a revolutionary child. So This is where I got the idea from, that Ọlọ́run ò fẹ́ kí Ibrahim kó parun pẹ̀lú bàbá ẹ̀, ni ò ṣe jẹ́ kí bàbá ẹ̀ gbà fún. The second perspective from the father is that he now introduced Taofiq to the father. He now said, La ta'budi shaitan. Very important. Don't worship shaitan. It is Ibrahim that made us realize that there are only two deities to worship. No matter your religion, you're either worshiping Allah or shaitan. No matter what you call it, whether you call it Shogo, Ogun, Oya, any idol, every idol is a shaitan. Our father Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam told his father that La ta'budi shaitan. Don't worship shaitan so that you will not incur the wrath of Ar-Rahman. Allah is Rahman. So Ibrahim taught us that anything that is worshipped apart from Allah is shaitan. You either worship Allah or rubbish him. When you abandon the will of Allah, you rubbish Allah. You can be coming to mosque to pray, but when your life is not in accordance with the will of Allah, you are rubbishing Allah. And anything that determines any part of your life other than the Sharia of Allah, the Quran, is shaitan. It can't be any other thing. It can only be shaitan, because whoever doesn't know the Quran doesn't know anything. Whatever does not generate from the Quran is not correct. It can never be correct. Because it is only what is true that will be correct. A politically correct action will not always be true, because it will always bring tears because of hardship to the people, for example. But I've been asking this question for 40 years now. Is there anything in the Sharia that is deficient, that has disadvantages, that has demerits, that has weaknesses, that is not strictly in line with human nature? Tell me, I will pay. I will pay. Even here, if I don't have the money, I will borrow. I will pay whatever you want, I will pay. There is nothing. And there is nothing that is human that does not have weaknesses, disadvantages, and so on. Kò sí nǹkan kan nínú Sharia tí ò bá ẹ̀dá ọmọ èèyàn mu. Therefore, kò sí nǹkan kan nínú Sharia tí ó ní àbùkù. Bàbá wa Ibrahim ló kọ́ wa wípé ohunkóhun tí ẹnikẹ́ni tó bá ń sìn lẹ́yìn Ọlọ́run, ṣàìtàn ni. Ó sọ fún bàbá ẹ̀, má sìn èṣù, la ta'budi ṣàìtàn, má sìn àṣàìtàn, kó má bàa rí ìbínú Ọlọ́run ọba aláàánú Ar-Rahman. That is the second stage. The third and final stage is when the father got angry and said, Fajurni Maliya, do hijrah away from me, far, far away, and I will stone you. The father disowned him, got angry with him, threatened to stone him, and told him to go. But what was the response of Ibrahim? What was the cause of the conflict? Ideology. Ibrahim was trying to bring his father to faith. His father remained a kafir. And instead of just remaining a kafir, to make them to still be friends, he created enmity and told him to go. But no audio? What do you mean by no audio? Maybe it's your own.
We can hear you, sir. Please go ahead.
Aha. So it's your own. not check your network. All right. So the third one is the response of Ibrahim to an enemy father. The father became an enemy and told him to leave and threatened to stone him and denounced him. Did he say, MashaAllah, he's a kafir, I'm going to kill a kafir? The father caused him. Did he cause his father back? The father threatened to stone him. Did he pick a stone and say, I will stone you first? Did he call his father names the way we do today? Even when our parents are Muslims, they are out of ideology with us. Do we really tolerate them? So what did Ibrahim say? He said, I will leave. I will ask Allah to forgive you and guide you. What do we learn here? Bonding, even in spite of ideological differences. Ibrahim still bonded with his father and promised to pray for his father, for the forgiveness of his father, despite the father being a mushrik. Although Allah neutralized this, what does that mean? It means every Muslim must bond with his parents, no matter the spiritual condition of the parents. What did Allah make Luqman teach us? Say, وَإِنْ جَاهَدَاكَ أَنْ لَا تُشْرِكْ بِاللَّهِ شَيْئًا فَلَا تُطِعْهُمَا وَصَاحِبْهُمَا فِي الدُّنْيَا مَعْرُوفًا. If they contrive to make you associate anything with Allah, don't follow them. However, be friendly with them in this world, ma'rufa, in a pleasant way, in a beautiful way. Did Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam not demonstrate this? Did he denounce his uncle, Abu Talib? Even when Abu Talib was going to die, he was still pleading with him to accept the kalima. And he said, no. He said, what did you say you will not say? He expected him to say, I said I will not say La ilaha illallah, so that he would have pleaded with Allah that he said it. You know, Abu Talib said, I will not say what you ask me to say. And Allah censored the prophet. Again, you can note that. You cannot guide whom you love. Allah guides whom he wills. So, out of love, Ibrahim still prayed for a father who denounced him, who abused him, who drove him out of the house, who stoned him. That is the ascendancy, bond upward, your parent. Allah told us this story so that if we have anyone who has no spouse, let alone children, you still have to bond with your parents. So this is the starting point. But how did he manage the crisis in his nuclear family? We know the story. Our father, the friend of Allah, alayhi salatu wasalam, married Sarah for a long time, decades, without a child. It was said that it was Sarah herself that offered Hajara to Ibrahim. Some scholars that we must not describe, we must not use adjective for them, said Sarah did that to test Ibrahim, whether he was the one that was not fertile. Because at that point, Sarah had become barren, and even if a fertile man slept with her, it could not result into pregnancy. She could have a child. Some scholars that we should also not describe said no. It was out of love. Sarah felt that if she could not have a child, another woman could have a child for both of them. If indeed Hajara was their maid, the child would be for Sarah. If indeed Hajara was a slave, the child of the slave is a slave. And now they will adopt the child. Wallahu alam. But the point is, he agreed to marry her and she became pregnant. Then trouble started. Then how did Ibrahim bond two warring wives? They weren't fighting until the unexpected happened. You know, it was not expected that Hajara will become pregnant. There is a minority opinion that Sarah started fighting Hajara because she suspected that she got pregnant through another man. That her husband couldn't have been responsible for the pregnancy. But Baba was happy that he triumphed. He was able to make a young woman pregnant. Baba was happy. So what did he do? He became a father to his young wife. And he became a teacher. You know, a father is supposed to be a teacher. And he became a pillar of support for the wife under pressure. So he will always tell the wife not to worry, that nothing will happen to her. But in public, he will be neutral. He was neutral in public, sometimes supporting the elder wife, the one that had no child, but secretly being with Hajara. So when Sarah drilled hole in her ears and put ring and sent her to the market, Hajara went to Ibrahim to show him, see what your wife has done. Ibrahim was repeatedly, Ibrahim told her, it will become beauty. It will become beauty for you. You are beautiful and you will be beautiful and it will be beauty. So she got to the market and the people of the market, the women in the market started drilling ears into their ears and started using earrings. There was no earring before her. How did this happen? Management of crisis. He did not go to the first wife to abuse her. That you barren woman, why are you like this? It is your wickedness that has made you not to have a child. Somebody who is going to have a child, now you are treating her this way. Báwo ni Ibrahim ṣe manage ìyàwó méjì? A gbọ́ wípé ìyá wa Sárà ó ní kí bàbá wa Ibrahim kó fẹ́ ọmọ ọ̀dọ̀ rẹ̀. Àwọn kan lọ́mọ ọ̀dọ̀ ni, àwọn kan lẹ́rú ni, àwọn kan ní ẹ̀bùn ni. Wọ́n bùn Ibrahim ni. Àwọn àfáà kan ní ó fẹ́ fi ṣe àyẹ̀wò Ibrahim bóyá ó lè ta, bóyá ó sì lè fún yàn lóyún, bóyá òun gangan ló níṣòro àìrọ́mọbí. Torí pé ìyá ti dàgbà, ó ti gbó, kò lè bímọ mọ́. Àwọn kan ní nítorí ìfẹ́ ni, wípé tóun ò bá lè bímọ fọ́kọ kí ọmọ ọ̀dọ̀ wọn bímọ fún àwọn méjèèjì. Ọmọ tó bá bí pé àwọn méjèèjì làwọn máa ní ọmọ yẹn, Ọlọ́run ló yé, Ọlọ́run láàrin yẹn yé. Ṣùgbọ́n nígbà tí ọmọbìnrin yìí lóyún, ìjà dé. Nǹkan àkọ́kọ́ tí ìyá wa ṣe fún ìyá wa kékeré ni pé ó lu etí fún, ó fi yẹtí sí létí. Ìyẹn wá lọ fi hàn ọkọ ẹ̀ wípé wo nǹkan tí ìyàwó rẹ̀ ṣe fún mi. Wá dúró ìnira tó fún mi láti lu etí fún mi. irin gbígbóná ló fi lu etí fún mi, ó tún wá fi irin sí yẹtí. Wọ́n ní bàbá wa sọ fún wípé ẹwà ni yóò jẹ́ fún ẹ, ó ti bu ẹwà kún ẹwà rẹ. Ó wá ní kó lọ sọ́jà, gbọ̀dọ́jà àwọn ará ọjà obìnrin wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní lu tí wọ́n rí gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹwà. Ẹ̀kọ́ lélẹ́yìí o, pẹ̀lú sùúrù ìbàjẹ́ dẹwà, pẹ̀lú sùúrù in tó yẹ kó fa ìjà ó di àwòkọ́ṣe láwùjọ. So Ibrahim ó máa ń fi ara mọ́ ìyáálé ní títa, ṣùgbọ́n ó ní kí ìyàwó fi ẹ̀yìn tì òun nínú ilé. Ó di aláfẹ̀yìntì fún ìyàwó, ó di olùkọ́, ó di bàbá fún ìyàwó, ṣùgbọ́n ó sì ń jẹ́ ọkọ, ọ̀rẹ́ àti alásùnmọ́ fún ìyáálé. Ṣé pé ìyàwó mọ̀ wá wò wípé bàbá ìṣá kò fi ìyáálé yẹn sílẹ̀. Pẹ̀lú gbogbo nǹkan tí ìyáálé ń ṣe fún ìyàwó, ọ̀dọ̀ ìyáálé ló dẹ̀ sì ń fì sí. Ẹ̀kọ́ lélẹ́yìí o, ìyáálé ni ò dẹ̀ bímọ, ìyàwó ló bímọ. Ẹ̀kọ́ lélẹ́yìí o, yẹn ni wípé kò ṣeé ṣe kéèyàn níyàwó méjì tàbí jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ kí wọ́n má jà o. Ọkọ ni ò gbọ́dọ̀ ponú. Gbogbo ibi tí ọkọ bá wà, ilé ni. Nígbà tó bá wà pẹ̀lú ìyàwó kan, kò ní sọ̀rọ̀ ìyàwó kejì. Tí wọ́n bá wà níta, ìyáálé ni ìyàwó. Tó bá wà nínú ilé, ẹni tó bá wà pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ ni ìyàwó. Òun ni ó sì dáa jù nínú obìnrin. Ẹ̀kọ́ tá a kọ́ lára Ibrahim ni. Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam was publicly in support of the first wife, but privately in support of the two. So the second wife became a student that was learning on daily basis because he had assured her that this hole that your senior wife drilled into your ears will become beauty. And it became beauty. When she twisted her hair, and she also went to the husband to show him, see what your wife has done again. The husband still told her, it will become another beauty. Go to the market as instructed, don't fight. So when she got to the market, women in the market started plaiting their ears. Nobody plaited hair before Ajara. That is why Africans are the most beautiful women, because of the way they can plait their ears, and others cannot be. Unfortunately, African women now copy useless women whose ears are not beautiful. They wear wigs, to look like them, whose ears cannot be beautified. They can only wash it. Wọn lè kórun, àbóyìnbó lè kórun, kò ní kò. Ọkùnrin ló wá lè kórun lọ́dọ̀ tí wọn. Ẹ̀rí bí èṣù ṣe wá dorí oyè, ó ṣe dà lámòrí wọn rú. So when bí Ibrahim ṣe manage situation yẹn nìyẹn. Ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kẹta ni ìgbà tí Sára ní òun ò fẹ́ rí ìyá àtọmọ. And the father of faith took mother and child far away from the first wife to save his home. Because he was a wise man, he was a prophet. He knew what a woman could do. If the woman generated rumor that this child is a bastard, there is no way you, an old spent man, could have got this young woman pregnant. She brought the child from outside. I mean, society may kill the child. So what did he do? He took her far away to Mecca, where nobody would want to stay. You can see the wisdom. It was a desert. Nobody stayed in the desert. What did Allah do? Allah instructed him to take him to a desert to establish another nation. But there is nothing in the family that will not bring pain first. There is no gain in any family without pains. Pains will come before gains. So there was pain. He deposited mother and child and made to leave. And the mother said, "Are you leaving us here alone?" He nodded. "Is it your Lord that asked you to put us here?" He nodded. And said, trusting him to it. So this third time, she had no reason not to trust him. If it is your Lord, he will take care of us. Is there no lesson there? Does your wife trust you? How many times have you lied to her? Can she trust you? How many times has your wife busted you? You know how to lie, and she knows how to bust you. Can she continue to trust you? Is there a guarantee that your wife trusts you? Apart from not trusting you for the possibility of marrying second wife, no, a woman cannot trust you. And a woman that stupidly trusts you is on her own. Yeah, because if it is qadar, your biology, handicap. Handicap. But then, simple moral issues. If you say, "I have no money," you think your wife trusts you? Because you have said you had no money before, and an outsider has come, and you have given the outsider. So you expect her to still trust you? Your wife has needed money before, and your sister called for the same money which you said you didn't have to your wife, and you give your sister or brother or friend. You assisted an outsider when you claim not to have money to assist your wife and family and children. So Ibrahim secured the trust of his second wife. That's why she agreed to stay in a desert alone, trusting the husband that Allah who asked him to bring them there would be with them. And he did. Allah trusted his friend, and Allah discharged his trust. Allah produced Zamzam, Allah produced Makkah, and Allah made Ibrahim and Ismail to reconstruct the Kaaba. And Allah made Ibrahim to pray for Ismail and all other children that will come from the two of them. You remember a particular prayer when they finished the construction of the Kaaba? رَبَّنَا تَقَبَّلْ مِنَّا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ رَبَّنَا وَاجْعَلْنَا مُسْلِمَيْنِ لَكَ وَمِنْ ذُرِّيَّتِنَا أُمَّةً مُسْلِمَةً لَكَ وَأَرِنَا مَنَاسِكَنَا وَتُبْ عَلَيْنَا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ التَّوَّابُ الرَّحِيمُ. Look at that prayer. He prayed for the two of them, father and son, and their progeny. Look at the content of the prayer, meaning to bond your family, you must be extremely prayerful. A day must not pass without saying, رَبَّنَا هَبْ لَنَا مِنْ أَزْوَاجِنَا وَذُرِّيَّاتِنَا قُرَّةَ أَعْيُنٍ وَاجْعَلْنَا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ إِمَامًا. A day must not pass. This is the way to go. This is the way to know how to bond the family. But what did he do? What did Ibrahim do? He said he was leaving and he left. Where did he go to? He left them in Mecca, went back to Palestine. Is it Palestine?
back to Palestine
or Iraq,
Palestine.
wherever.
Not
He
yet.
went back
Didn't go back.
600 kilometers away. He went back. So the sunnah is not to marry one wife in Kubu, another one in Lugbe. It's not sunnah. It is only a strategy to manage crisis. If your wives are out of control, it is then you adopt the sunnah of Ibrahim. It's a crisis management strategy. It is not sunnah. What is the sunnah? If the marriages of the prophet are sunnah, he never married outside the house. All the wives are in the same house. And all the fight they will fight, they fought it in the same house. If you are in charge, don't run away. Don't be a roving husband. 2 days here, 2 days there. You know they tire you. Well, if you're a coward, you cannot, oh, le muja. Torí pé le muja ni o wà in charge. Lọ ṣe fọ́nyàwó ká, ọmọ wa rìn kì í bí èmi ò wí bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Èmi ò sọ pé òun rìn kì í bí ìgbóná Imam ló wí bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Ẹnu mi ò gbà o. Ẹ̀yẹn ni pé babaláwa Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam nígbà tí ó ṣe ìyàwó àtọmọ sọ́jọ̀ lọ́jọ́ sí Mẹ́kà, níbo ló padà sí? Jerusalem, Palestine ló padà sí. Kò dúró ti ìyàwó àtọmọ. Kó mọ́ dàbẹ̀ ní pé ó sá lọ fún ìyá àjẹ́ tí ò rọmọ bí olójú bá ń dẹ́rù bọmọ mi, mọ́ pa ń lọ́mọ jẹ. Kó mọ́ dàbẹ̀ ní pé ó sá lọ fún ìyàwó ẹ̀. Ó fi ìyàwó tó bímọ sílẹ̀ ní aṣálẹ̀, ó padà lọ bá ìyàwó tí ò bímọ. What lesson in the management of first wife? Ìyàwó tá a bá kọ́kọ́ fẹ́ àbúrò wa ni. Tá a bá fẹ́ ìyàwó lé iná la fi jó. Tá a bá dẹ̀ fi iná jóyàn, èèyàn máa ń bomi tútù sí ni. O kì í fi iná jóyàn kó tún máa fi atẹ́gùn kí iná yẹn máa kó mọ wá ràn. You must be careful what you say to your first wife. When you burn somebody with fire, it is not fair to ask her not to cry. She must cry. When you marry a second wife, your wife must go crazy. Wonder why she's going past no Imam. Do you? Will you have Imam? If your wife is talking to somebody 12 midnight and it's a man, will you have Imam? Will you have Imam? But here you are. Your wife knows that there is another woman that she's sharing with you, and you want her to have Iman. Imaniko. Imanini. So, ẹ̀kọ́ lílé bí a ṣe manage ìyàwó àkọ́kọ́. Ìyàwó tá a bá kọ́kọ́ fẹ́ is a sister. So when you marry a second wife, you are burning the first wife. And you must manage the first wife, not to make her go completely mad. Some women cannot manage it. But usually it is due to the handling of the men. Those of us who are cowards, we amowarawa. Ni God, ni liver. Àbíwá ìdàbà ní liver. Àwa mọ̀ pé ọ̀lẹ ni wá, àwọn ò ní liver. So a fi polygamy, a fi monogamy bojú ni. Pé Ọlọ́run ò kọ̀ yẹn náà. Àníyàn ọ̀nà àníyàn. Fi àníyàn lẹ̀. Fàníyàn lẹ̀. Kádàrá ló ju àníyàn lọ. So we have to be careful the way we manage our polygamy. Now you see, this is what produced Makkah, another nation. Patience, perseverance. Patience like stupidity from the man. Ṣé ìwà àgọ̀kọ́ ni pé ó fi ìyàwó tó bímọ fún ẹ sí aṣálẹ̀ ó padà lọ sọ́dọ̀ àgàn? But what did Allah do? He gave her a child too. And the grandchild came from her, from her own side, from Isaac. Isaac ló bí Yakub. Àgbúrò ọmọ tí Ismail bí. You know what Allah did? Allah put barakah in that woman. Ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ gbà, ọmọ ìyálé máa ń ní àlùbáríkà ju ọmọ ìyàwó lọ. Kì í ṣe ní gbogbo gbà o. Ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ gbà, àwọn ọmọ ìyálé ló máa ń ní àlùbáríkà ju ọmọ ìyàwó lọ torí wípé wọ́n máa ń fi ìyàwó kẹ́ ìyálé ni. Àbí wọ́n máa ń fi ìyálé kẹ́ ìyàwó ni. Wọ́n máa ń fi ìyàwó yán ìyálé lójú ni. Wọ́n lè máa ń wish kí ọmọ ìyàwó, kí ọmọ ìyálé ṣẹrú sin ọmọ ìyàwó. Ọlọ́run máa ń yí padà fún wọn ni. Ọlọ́run máa ń change fún wọn ni. So Allah put barakah in Sarah, Isaac, through Yakub. And Yakub is the father of Israel. Yakub is the father of the Bani Israel that Allah loves so much. Allah favors so much. Let's look at briefly the remaining two. The third one. So let's see the way he treated his children. Allahu Akbar. He never ceased to visit Ismail. Let's look at two visits. Just two. He visited Ismail and met his wife. And the wife said, "Welcome, old man." He asked her, "Where is your husband?" He said, "He has gone the way he used to go." "How do you fare in this house?" We suffer. He only goes out to bring meat. We eat meat and drink water. He said, "Allah will bless your meat and your water. But when your husband comes back, tell him to change the door of his house." So when the husband came back, she told him, "One old man visited, asked after you, and said, you should change the door of your house. Another narration said, when he came back, he perceived the body smell of his father. He said, "Who visited?" Then the woman said, "Oh, I forgot. An old man visited." The blah, 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 blah. He said, "That was my father. He asked me to divorce you. You are hereby divorced." What happened between father and son? Trust. 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 He trusted his father. He loved his father. He believed in his father. And so he believed the judgment of his father. Can you even introduce the girl to your son? How many of them have you been trying to make to marry? How many beautiful girls that they have been saying no? No go area. Is it not because Wallahu alam, they don't trust us? No, it may also be because they don't like the way we treat their mothers.
Yes.
So they don't want us to be involved in their lives. They don't have trust in us. What are we going to do about this? So, báwo ni Ismail ṣe wá ṣe sí àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀? Ismail àkọ́bí rẹ̀ kò fi sílẹ̀ ńgbà kankan o. Gbogbo ìgbà ni máa ń lọ yọjú sí nígbà kan nínú ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ visit. Ó yọjú sí ní ọjọ́ kan, kò bá ń lé, ó bá ìyàwó ẹ̀. Ó béèrè lọ́wọ́ ìyàwó ẹ̀ pé, "Níbo lọkọ rẹ lọ?" Ó ló jáde bí tí máa jáde. "Kí lẹ mọ̀ bó lẹ ṣe ń ṣayé yín bí?" Ó ní, "Ìyà ń jẹ wá o. Ẹran nìkan là máa jẹ, a sì máa mú mi sí." Ibrahim alayhi salam ó ní Ọlọ́run fi ìbùkún sí ẹran àti omi yín. Tọkọ rẹ bá dé sọ pé kó pààrọ̀ lẹ̀kùnlé rẹ̀. So nígbà tí ọkọ dé, ó ní, "Mo gbóòórùn bàbá mi." Ta ló wá? Ó ní, "Bàbá rẹ̀ náà wà ní arúgbó kan báyìí." ó sọ báyìí 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 ó ní bàbá mi ní kí n kọ̀ ẹ́ nìyẹn mo dẹ̀ ti kọ̀ ẹ́ kí ló fà á ó ní ìfọkàntán sí bàbá ẹ̀ ó sì gba bàbá ẹ̀ láàyè láti fẹ́yàwó fún àti láti kọ ìyàwó fún torí wípé obìnrin tí kò mọ èèyàn rí tó ti jábọ́ tó yẹn tó ti sọ gbogbo nǹkan nípa ọkọ ẹ̀ kì í ṣe ìyàwó rere kì í ṣe obìnrin rere obìnrin bẹ́ẹ̀ ikú ni tọkọ bá lówó bí ó ṣe jábọ́ náà nìyẹn fólè so ó yẹ kí obìnrin lè ṣọ́ ẹnu ẹ̀ obìnrin yẹn lè rẹwà ṣùgbọ́n kò ní ẹwà kò ní ìwà nítorí náà kò ní ìwà nítorí náà kò rẹwà. He visited the second time. He saw another wife. Said, "How is your husband?" Said, "He's fine." "How are you coping?" "Alhamdulillah. Allah has blessed our meat and our water." Now told her, "When your husband comes back, tell him to hold on to the door of his house." When the husband came back, said, "Did my father visit?" She said, "Yes, one handsome old man that you look like." You know, the first wife did not look at her father-in-law to see the resemblance. No, another narration said, when the husband came back, she told him, "Your father visited." And he said, "How do you know?" He said, "You look like him. He is a handsome old man. The way you look." And the husband, will the husband not be happy?
Sure.
Because there was no way he would know that he looked like his father. It was his wife that told him. Because the wife was observant. A woman should be observant and should have extrasensory perception to know that this is my father-in-law and to hold the key to her mouth. That's why I gave you one tongue, two lips, to hold the tongue in check. So he now said, "My father asked me to keep you, and I will keep and cherish you." MashaAllah. The next visit was when they reconstructed the Kaaba. The next visit was when Allah asked him, oh, that was the first visit. The first major visit was when Allah asked him to kill Ismail. And Ismail said, "Ifal ma tomorrow. Do whatever you are asked to do. You find me patient." Wow, he trusted his father. The mother trusted her husband. The son trusted his father. Do your family members trust you? When you say, "Hello, good morning," would they not look at their wristwatch?
It is not night.
It could be evening. Are you not a proficient liar? Very, very proficient in lying. How will your family trust you? So there was trust. Every visit displayed absolute trust in this person. So you should be visiting your children. That is the sunnah of Ibrahim. Finally, how did he treat his grandson? He called everybody before he died and took a pledge from them that they will worship only Allah. And he taught Yaqub, the grandson, to do the same when he was going to die. He also called all his children, took a pledge from them that they will worship Allah, who your father Ismail and Isaac worshipped. So this is the way it is. I want to stop here for obvious reasons. There are many more. How do we fún ìdí pàtàkì tí gbogbo wa mọ̀ ṣùgbọ́n ó pọ̀ ó sì kù ẹ̀kọ́ tá a kọ́ lára Ibrahim pọ̀ gan ni ìgbà tí Ibrahim tó lọ yọjú sí ọmọ rẹ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kejì ó bá obìnrin kan tí yẹn kì í dáadáa ó wá níbo lọkọ rẹ̀ lọ ó ló ṣiṣẹ́ ajé lọ láti lọ wá nǹkan tá ó jẹ kí lè máa ń jẹ ó lẹ́ran ni àdèmá mumi sí ó sì lálùbáríkà inú bàbá dùn ó ní tọkọ rẹ̀ bá sọ pé kó di ilẹ̀kùn ilé rẹ̀ mú nígbà tí ọkọ dé ó ní bàbá rẹ̀ wá ó ní báwo ló ṣe mọ̀ pé bàbá mi wá èmi náà gbóòórùn bàbá mi ó nítorí wípé àgbàlagbà tó rẹwà ni bí wọn náà ṣe rí ó jọ bàbá yẹn mo ti gbà pé bàbá rẹ̀ ni ọkọ wo nínú rẹ̀ ò ní dùn nígbà tí wọn ò ní wó gbẹngbà yẹn tí wọn ò fi mọ̀ wípé mo jọ bàbá mi inú ọkọ dùn ó ní bàbá mi ní kí n dìé mú kí n tọ́jú ẹ màá sì dìé mú màá sì tọ́jú ẹ àkọ́kọ́ tó kọ́ yọjú sí ọmọ yẹn ṣe dàgbà ni tọ́lọ́ ní kí ó pa tó dẹ̀ sọ fún ọmọ ní àṣẹ tọ́lọ́ ń bá pa ẹ́ kó o tẹ̀lé ó bá mi lóyún ní sùúrù kí ló fà á ó fọkàn tán bàbá ẹ̀ ìyá rẹ̀ náà fọkàn tán ọkọ rẹ̀ tó jẹ́ bàbá Ismail ẹni pé ìfọkàntán ni ó ń ràn látọ̀dọ̀ ìyá sí ọmọ tí ọmọ bá ya ìyàkuyà ó máa ń sábà wá látọ̀dọ̀ ohun tí ìyá ń sọ tó dẹ̀ ń ṣe nípa bàbá yẹn ohun tí ìyá bá sọ fún ọmọ nípa bàbá ẹ̀ lọ́mọ máa gbàgbọ́ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọmọ ò kì í mọ bàbá wọn on their own ó dìgbà tó náà bá dàgbà tí ìyàwó wọn bá ṣe ṣó tí ìyá wọn ṣe sí bàbá wọn kí wọ́n tó mọ̀ pé ìyá yìí ò fẹ́ràn bàbá yìí kò dẹ̀ fẹ́ kí n fẹ́ràn ẹ̀ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ obìnrin ni òun fẹ́ kí ọmọ fẹ́ràn bàbá wọn torí bàbá ló lọ́mọ ṣùgbọ́n aláàárù ló máa ń fẹ́ di ẹrù ló máa ń fẹ́ di olówó ẹrù aláàárù ni àwọn obìnrin ṣùgbọ́n aláàárù máa ń fẹ́ di olówó àtolówó lọ́sẹ̀ máa ń skim àti nínú obìnrin tó pa ọkọ ẹ̀ náà torí pé kí ọmọ má bàa mọ bàbá ẹ̀ kó dẹ̀ má bàa mọ̀ sí oore ìyẹn ni pé a gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe iṣẹ́ lórí sùúrù iṣẹ́ lórí ìwà dáadáa òótọ́ ọnú tí ìyàwó àtọmọ fi fọkàn tán wa tá a fi rí ìdùnnú nínú ẹbí. So in summary, Ibrahim related with his father, got embarrassed, got embarrassment, got hatred, got threat of being stoned, but he did not react. Despite the ideological difference, he bonded with his father and prayed for him. When his father drove him away, he said he would go, but he would pray for him. Our father bonded with his first wife, despite the infertility, despite the harassment of the second wife, despite the violence, structural violence, he did not fight. There is no record that he scolded his first wife, who was barren. What did Ibrahim gain? He gained bond. Imagine that he did not bond them. How worse will the enmity between the two children, the Arabs and the Israeli, how bad will it have been today? Despite the bonding, you can see how bad it is. See what's going on in Palestine. Children of the same father, killing one another. Been at war for 70 years. 70 years of war. And there is no ceasefire in the offing. Imagine that Ibrahim did not bond them. So Ibrahim bonded with his father, bonded with his wives, bonded with his children, and bonded with his grandchildren. So we have ascendants, descendants, and the nucleus. So there is no way you will have been successful if you don't bond with your grandchildren. For those of you who are still going there, my own grandchildren have been with me. Once in a while, they spend the weekend with me. And everybody is happy with all their troubles. Everybody is happy. It's bam. All their troubles. I mean, you can't enter our sitting room now because they don't repair everywhere. They have repaired everywhere. All the pillows have scattered. It's okay. Part of the fun. Then what is your relationship with your children, with your wife, with your grandchildren? So we have everything perfectly set as example for us. Related well with his father, ascendant, with his own children, nucleus, with his grandchild, ascendants, descendants. And the grandchild lived with him because Allah called him Nafila, extra, Jara, go. So if you're not going to take over your grandchildren, they must not be too far away from you. That's why I promised to carry this boy. Let him see me. Not today, it's already running away. When it is time, I will carry my grandchildren, bring all of them into my house. We will be doing our rascality together.
Yes.
Inshallah. He is okay. A house of commotion. I'm waiting. What else are we going to be doing after retirement? That's the only work we'll be doing now. And Allah will be rewarding us and paying us handsome salary. MashaAllah. Kókó ń tá a sọ ní èní òun ni pé Ibrahim fún wa ní àpẹẹrẹ tó dáa. Ó ní ìbáṣepọ̀ àti ìbáṣepọ̀ tó dánmọ́rán pẹ̀lú bàbá ẹ̀. Bó tilẹ̀ jẹ́ wípé ẹ̀sìn ò pa wọ́n pọ̀, bàbá bínú sí ó lẹ̀ lóko, ó lè jáde, ó lóhùn ó lẹ̀ lóko jàre, ó lè jáde. Ibrahim sì lóhùn ò jà. Ó tún ṣàdúrà fún bàbá ẹ̀, despite wípé ọ̀ṣẹbọ ni bàbá ẹ̀. Ó ṣe dáadáa sí ìyálé ẹ̀ tí ò bímọ títí tí Ọlọ́run fi fún lọ́mọ. Ó ṣe sùúrù pẹ̀lú bí ìyálé ṣe ń harass, bó ṣe ń fi ojú ìyàwó rí rẹ́dẹ̀rẹ́dẹ́. Ọlọ́run sì sọ gbogbo ẹ̀ di ẹwà fún un. Ó sọ di ẹni tí ó lọ dá orílẹ̀-èdè míì sílẹ̀, ìyẹn Lárúbáwá ní Mọ́kà. Sùúrù tó fi bond wọn ló ṣe wá lóore di ọ̀la. Ó tún wá mú ọmọ ẹ̀ Yakub, ó tún mú sọ́dọ̀. Títí tí ikú fi dé, ó kọ́ Yakub lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ direct. Ìyẹn ni pé táwọn ò bá lè ṣe bí Ibrahim, ká gbìyànjú ká fẹ́ ṣe tó bẹ́ẹ̀. Ká ní sùúrù tá a bá níyàwó méjì. Ká má já ìyálé sílẹ̀, ká má bà nínú jẹ́. Tá a bá ti fẹ́yàwó léèyàn àti finá jó, àfi ká bomi tútù sí. A gbọ́dọ̀ rí ìgbónára torí pé ó nọ́mà. A dẹ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ jìnnà sí ọmọ torí wípé ọ̀la wa nìyẹn. Ètò àwílò ní Ọlọ́run mọ́ ṣe ní ìbàlẹ́jọ́ fún àtúrí àti túgbọ̀. Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kó yọ àjùbá ìṣẹ̀láyé ọ̀la kúlù kọ́lé azza wa astaghfirullaha li wa lakum subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
For those of us who have questions, we can either choose to drop the chat box. And for those of us joining this call from our various background, we can collate the questions and send it as one in the chat box. We cannot use the instant feature. Or Destiny, please unmute yourself, sir. Or Destiny, you have the floor. You can unmute yourself, please. Please unmute yourself. Now,
Salaam
alaikum salam.
Alaikum salam.
Bàbá kan bá tó bá lọ ẹ̀mí o. Kọ́ bá lékún
Àmín.
ìmọ̀ọ́nì, kọ́ bá lékún wà láfíà ara yín. Ẹ dákun bàbá, first kan mo kò ní kí n béèrè or maybe little explanation on it. The word there pé polygamous àpé second wife pé téèyàn máa fẹ́yàwó lóbìnrin pé iná lèèyàn fi jó wọn ẹ̀. Mo rò pé ṣé ọ̀rẹ́ o ó bí bá kan my own mind pé tóbi bá gbélé yìí náà wọ́n máa wò pé bí a ṣe bí ṣe dandan kọ́ ni pé kéèyàn fẹ́ ìyàwó kejì. Ìwọ́n pé bí a ń fẹ́ kán wo kán má rí méjì wá pé ṣé súnà lọ́bì ni àbí kì í ṣe dandan àbí pé kí ni ìgbésẹ̀ wo lèèyàn fẹ́ gbé tí màá ṣe nǹkan báyìí torí lóòótọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe sọ pé kò rọrùn lóòótọ́ àmọ́ ìmọ̀ọ́nì yẹn náà ó yẹ kó wà ń bẹ fún àwọn obìnrin wa láti pọ́n lè faragba ìkan báyìí. Now.
Kì í ṣọ̀rọ̀ ìmọ̀ọ́nì, ọ̀rọ̀ ìṣẹ̀dá ni. Tẹ́ bá ti fẹ́yàwó léèyàn yóò ṣe ìgbónára, iná lẹ fi jó, iná wọ́n sọ pé ó ní ìgbónára. Ìgbónára yẹn is a reaction to iná tẹ́ fi jó. As for wípé kó ní mọ́nì, ìwọ náà lè ní mọ́nì tí ìyàwó ẹ bá ń bọ ọkùnrin mi sọ̀rọ̀. Iná ìgbónára tiẹ̀ gan ju ti obìnrin lọ. So ìwà ìbàjẹ́ ni ká máa wá sọ wípé kóbìnrin ní mọ́nì kó má lo ìgbónára. Yes, ìwà ìkà ni. Ẹ jẹ́ kó ṣe ìgbónára ẹ̀ kó wọ́n dájú obìnrin ìsìn wọn ò lè ní mọ́nì tó àwọn tàtijọ́. Wọn ò dájú ìyá wa Sarat lọ. Wọn ò dájú ìyá wa Aisha lọ. Wọn ò dájú ìyá wa Hafsa lọ. Gbogbo wọn náà jowú náà. Aisha jowú Zainab, ó jowú Sofia, kódà ó jowú àgbàlagbà Umu Salama torí pé yẹn ní làákàyè púpọ̀. Àdíjà tó ti kú kí wọ́n tó fẹ́ òun, Aisha jowú ẹ̀ débi pé anúsísọ́lá láti máa sọ wípé kí ni tiẹ̀ pẹ̀lú obìnrin tó ti kú. Ó lóun rí wípé ó sì ń respect ẹ̀ tọmọ rẹ̀ àbẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ ẹ̀ bá dé wá dìde. Mo ti gbọ́ wípé opó ni, ó ti ya opó lẹ́ẹ̀mejì, ó dẹ̀ dàgbà gan. Ànábì ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ṣùgbọ́n bímọ 6 fún mi. Case back close. End of discussion. You know, so bó ṣe rí nìyẹn pé ẹ mọ́ sọ wípé ó yẹ kí mọ́nì wà ń bẹ̀. Bọ́lọ̀ ń ṣe ṣẹ̀dá wọn nìyẹn. Tóbìnrin ò bá dẹ̀ jowú, Yorùbá ní ọbẹ̀ kì í dùn. I mean, imagine kó sọ pé ó fẹ́ fẹ́yàwó, kí ìyàwó ẹ̀ dẹ̀ sọ pé Ọlọ́run fa àlùbáríkà sí. Kó dẹ̀ fẹ́ tán kó ní Ọlọ́run fa àlùbáríkà sí. Ṣé wàá lè gbélé yẹn? Kí ló máa ń ṣàwọn ọkùnrin náà? Nǹkan tí ó jẹ́ àǹfààní fún wa, obìnrin yìí ń jowú láti fi hàn wípé òun nífẹ̀ẹ́, ó tún bínú, ó tún ló ṣe ń jowú. Bó ṣe rí ni Ọlọ́run ṣàánú wa, Ọlọ́run fún alágbọ̀ọ́yé.
Amina. iPhone 2, please. You can mute yourself.
Ó lè nàyàn tán kó tún ní kò gbọdọ̀.
Ṣé ń gbọ́ mi ṣá?
À ń gbọ́ yín sà.
Orúkọ mi ni Kọ́sìmọ̀ làbí ẹ má gbọ́ mi sà.
À ń gbọ́ iPhone.
Ọlọ́mọ alọ́ra ẹ̀mí Imam.
Àmín.
Akramakumullah. Today we have learned a lot from what Imam said. And but mo drive lọ́wọ́ máa yẹn ní kí tó wà scar venue. Nǹkan mẹ́rin ni mo rò pé tí mo fẹ́ rí kọ́ nígbà tí máa ń sọ léyìn fún wa, bonding, ká trust ara wa àti sùúrù. Pàápàá jùlọ tí mo tún wá rí kọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé kéèyàn máa ṣàdúrà fún àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ àti àwọn àrọ́mọdọ́mọ ẹ̀. Bonding yẹn ìbí náà ṣe lánàá, mo ṣe ṣe lẹ́kídé ní ìsìn mo lọ kí mẹ́gbọ́n ní lẹ́kí àti bàbá ẹ̀ àti ìyàwó ẹ̀. Bonding yẹn ṣe pàtàkì gan. Bọ́tẹ́yìn bá bond pẹ̀lú àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀, àmọ́ ẹni wọ́n lè yẹ̀pàdà yàpé àmọ́yàn lọ́wọ́. Wọ́n láti mọ̀ wá dáadáa káde fi ẹ̀kọ́ ẹ̀sìn lé wọn lọ́wọ́. Lẹ́yìn kan tó ń bèèrè pé ìbìrin pé inú la fi bí obìnrin. Ṣé rí téèyàn bá gbọ́ yóò bá dáadáa ọ̀rẹ́ yóò lè yí dáadáa. Lóòótọ́ ni pé lóòótọ́ òbí téèyàn bá fẹ́ yàwó lé àfinájó wọn lóòótọ́ ni. Because kò yí sí. It's jumbo like for years. The wife will understand the killing. She's a human being. And nígbà míì Imam, àwọn èèyàn kan tó wá fẹ́yàwó tí wọ́n fẹ́ lé yẹn tó gbéyàwó wọn sì ju wọ́n tó wá léyàwó yẹn dànù. Ìyẹn bá dẹ̀ ní pé ẹgbẹ́ tí wọ́n ní omi tó máa kí lòdì tù mọ́. So èmi kàn fẹ́ rọ àwọn tí a ti ṣe mọ́ sínú pé tẹ́ ẹ bá ti wọnú ẹ̀ ẹ má dàrú ẹ bá pè wá o. Tẹ́ ẹ bá ti wọnú omi èèyàn kì í pariwo òtútù mọ́. It is you that will make the house or mar the house. Finally, on this issue of prayer, when he was leaving Ajar, Tony Bay showed on low pioneer only Bailey, and he prayed for them. But the only Robana, he as canto in Suriati. Be wide even in the bicycle in Harani, Robana, you kill Sola. Watch Adibin Nasi, Afro Nasi, Taofiq. وارزقه من الثمرات لعلهم يشكرون. Tẹ́bá wo àdúrà yẹn léèrè, àdúrà yẹn gbà, ó dẹ̀ nígbà dọ̀nà ni. Ó ní wọ́n náà wá fi ọmọ mi àti àwọn àrọ́mọdọ́mọ mi sínú sí àyè nínú wa ṣálẹ̀. Lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ wọn lọ́wọ́ bá lè fi ọ̀la ibi wo ni kábà lè máa kírun fún wọn náà. Ó wá ní wọn náà wò, wájú àfìlẹ́tẹ̀ mi náà sì dáàbò ilé yìí. Bá ń darí ohun àwọn èèyàn sọ́dọ̀ wọn. Ọ̀la táyé fi parí àwọn ìdílé wọ́n jẹ́ hajj. Wọ́n dẹ̀ fi olówó lọ́wọ́ máa fẹ́ lọ́bẹ̀. And I have to be prepared for them. So the question is, how many of us today consciously pray for our children and our grandchildren? It's a must, like Ibrahim did. If you want to be like him. Imam, may Allah take it for Khairat.
Jazakallah khairan.
Sir, Kinto, the next person. I too have a question. So my question is in the area of children trusting their father so much enough that they have them. So I am wondering, is it possible that Ismail salam trusted his father so much about instance the gift in lecturing because he knew that his father is a prophet supported by divine revelation, and not listening to him would be as a great service to himself. Okay, sir. Now, if that is correct, sir, what do you think parents today has to do? Because a lot of children don't see their friend as their role model, and it's even worse in this generation where we consume a lot of information on that. So, sir, do you think that parents too need to up their game so that they position themselves as that role model for kids, such that if children see that, okay, I don't have to seek any role model outside, it will make it easier for these children to be fair to their parents because they understand that not listening to them is going to be a great service.
Yeah, I think you have said it. You have not asked question. You have only explained it, that parents should endeavor to be role models to their children. One way to do this is to create time, not for the children, but for the wife. You know why? The children will always gravitate towards their mothers. So if you are with their mother, you'll be with your children. But if you are a stranger in that house, you're on your own. No. If you're always with your wife, it will be difficult for her to tell, it is not impossible, but it will be difficult for her to tell them what you are not. Because they will see you. They will see you. But if they don't see you, they will see what their mother says about you. It is very difficult. Some of the Sunnah have been bastardized by Yorubas. When you're getting hanyo, èmi hanyo, èmi gé ẹ̀fọ́. Kódà yín ṣe ẹ̀fọ́ oríṣi mẹ́rin lónìí tí n bá délé inshallah. Mo ti rà nírọ̀lẹ́ àná. Wallahi mi ò dẹ̀ kí n sọ kọ́bángẹ́. Because tí mi bá ṣe wọn ní ṣe, tí kí n sì tó ṣe táwọn ní wọn kọ̀ọ̀kan yọ abọ́ lọ jẹ. and it pleases me. No, ní bẹ̀rẹ̀, ó ṣìírí ni. Ó bá mi ṣe oúnjẹ, mo ń ṣe fúnra mi, ó dẹ̀ jókòó tí mo fi ṣètò, ó dẹ̀ yọ abọ́, ìwọ ló dẹ̀ kọ́kọ́ sáàbà rẹ̀, ló kọ́kọ́ kó jẹ. If any, yes. That is the way it should be. That is the acid test for your love and patience. That is the acid test for your love and patience. Ṣé ìyàwó ẹ̀ tó wù ẹ́ tó fi ṣe ọbẹ̀ tán? Ṣé kò mọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ni? Ó fẹ́ kó ṣe oúnjẹ fún òun náà ni. She wants to cook for her and to tell you I love it. Ó dẹ̀ yọ abọ́, ó dẹ̀ lọ jẹ. Àwọn kan orí máa kọ́kọ́ ń dàrú gbà kan. Ó ti pẹ́ gan-an. Ó ti pẹ́. Ìgbà yẹn ewúro ni máa ń sè. Ewúro yẹn dẹ̀ máa ń dùn. Ewúro yẹn máa ń dùn. So òun ló máa kọ́kọ́ sọ bí iyọ̀ ti dùn tó, bí màgí ṣe dùn. So ìyá wọn gbà nǹkan ṣe ni. Ìyá fẹ́ lè sọ pé ṣe ó ya wèrè ni. Kí irú pàlàpàlà wo nìyẹn? Bó ṣe ẹ kó rí nìyẹn. Ṣé ìtànà bí ìwà bàbá wa Ibrahim tó ṣé kò jọ wèrè ni? Bí ìgbà tó lé ìyá ọlọ́mọ lọ tó wá padà lọ bá àgàn, ìyẹn lọ́lọ́run fún àlùbáríkà sí náà. Ájára ló wá fún ní Isaac ló fún ní Yakub. You don't understand. Ó dìgbà tẹ́ bá débẹ̀. Grandchildren, mọ bó ṣe ń rí. You love your grandchildren more than your children. Ó dìgbà tẹ́ bá débẹ̀ kẹ́ tó mọ bó ṣe rí lára Ibrahim. He took over the grandson. Because Ọlọ́run náà, ọmọ mẹ́ta ló máa ń sọ pé bí. Ismail, Isaac àti Yakub. But Isaac ló bí Yakub. But ọmọ Ibrahim lọ́lọ́run pè. So first born ọmọ ẹ, last born tiẹ̀ ni. So bó ṣe rí nìyẹn o, èèyàn gbọ́dọ̀ ní sùúrù ni. You have to be extremely patient and also prayerful. Àwọn old people tó wà níbí ló mọ nǹkan tí mò ń sọ. Àwọn bíi Alhaji Shamsuddin Farm, àwọn bíi Barrister Bakri, àwọn náà mọ nǹkan tí mò ń sọ. Àwọn tó ti jẹ́ grandparents, àwọn náà mọ nǹkan tí mò ń sọ. So we have to be, kò sí ọmọ tí òun fẹ́ yẹ̀yàkuyà. You have to be prayerful. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ̀ tí di grandparent, Ọlọ́run á jẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ di grandparent. You have to bond as if you are stupid with your first wife. Tí ló ń bá kádàrá méjì mẹ́ta mẹ́rin, you must not run away with the latest wife. You must run back to the first wife. Òun ló máa bẹ manage wọn. Tó bá rí loyalty, she will help you to manage the second wife. But to bá rí disloyalty, she will help you to damage her. Yes, because ayọ̀ á dẹ̀ ṣubú. Ìyàwó kékeré ayọ̀ á dẹ̀ ṣubú. But ibi tó ti ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ kọ́ nìyẹn o. Ibi damage ló ti máa bẹ̀rẹ̀. Ìyàwó kékeré ò ní dá rárá. Tó bá máa sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ báyìí, wàá fẹ́ lè yọ àdá kó bẹ́ orí ìyálé ẹ kúrò. Gbogbo àwọn nǹkan tó dẹ́rù bá wa nìyẹn o. Tá a fi gbà fọ́lọ́run, tá a gbà fọ́lọ́run nísinmi, ká gbà fọ́lọ́run nísinmi, kádàrá ò ṣe kọ̀ láì gbà, ká gbà fọ́lọ́run nísinmi. Akọni, last question. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi.
Nǹkan mẹ́ta kan lè ní fẹ́ observe. Alákọ̀ọ́kọ́ ni wípé báwo ni bàbá àbí bàbá ṣe máa bond pẹ̀lú àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ bá create àyè láti rò pọ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀. Ṣé pé gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀.
Mi ò gbọ́ dáadáa o. Ẹni tó bá gbọ́ kó bá mi ṣe
ọ̀rọ̀ tó ṣe máa jẹ bí wọ́n ṣe máa mú nìkan ló mú lọ́kàn. Ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì òun ni ọ̀rọ̀ spirituality. bàbá àbí ọkọ ó gbọ́dọ̀ lè wà spiritual débi pé ìyàwó àtàwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ máa rí yẹ kí ni spirituality yẹn lára rẹ̀ láti lè fi ẹsẹ̀ ìgbàgbọ́ tàwọn náà rinlẹ̀ sí pé lóòótọ́ gbogbo bọ́kùnrin ṣe ń darí wa Ọlọ́run wà pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ ìyẹn náà ó wà very important. Lẹ́ẹ̀kẹta òun náà ni pé ọkùnrin gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ emotional manager fún ìyàwó àbí àwọn ìyàwó àti àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí bàbá wa ṣe fún Ájára nígbà tí ìyá tó ṣe bó ṣe ṣe sí wọn tó àwọn kan mẹ́rin sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn sáwọn ayọ̀.
Alaikum salam, jazakallahu khairan. Jazakallahu khairan. Ẹ̀kọ́ pọ̀ lára Ibrahim. He's a school. Ibrahim is a school. That's why Allah directed Muhammad sallam to follow him. And then this Quran is a book of instruction about Ibrahim. Now, you read a particular surah that contains the highest number of kul. Do you know the surah? Surah Anam. There is no surah that contains kul, say, more than that surah. Only 2 pages does not have kul, and other pages have more than 1. Kul, say. At the end of that surah, Allah now says, Kul innani adani rabbi ila siratin mustaqim. Dinan qiyama millata Ibrahim hanif. Wa ma kana min al-mushrikin. If you want to know Tawheed, study Ibrahim. So what we have done today is to study him a little in his family bonding and relationship. You must bond with your family. Next month, inshallah, we are going to look at another part of it. It is still about family, but it is slightly different from it. It is advanced ideological bonding. Advanced ideological bonding with his family. So we pick it out from the Quran, mashallah. Professor Abdulgani Sikiru Abiodun.
Assalamu alaikum.
Òyìnbó ti ẹ̀yìn, alaikum salam. Òyìnbó ni kò tẹ́ ń ṣe Nàìjíríà òyìnbó ni. Speak English, let us hear. Speak Yoruba, let us hear your bad Yoruba. You are an Englishman. Speak Yoruba English, let us hear you.
Ọlọ́run kọ́lọ́run kó bá wa ṣàlékún àlàáfíà yìí mọ́ni àti ìsà. Bóyá torí àrà kò ní jẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ débẹ̀ ó ní ọmọ tí ìyá wa bó ṣe bí ọ lóyún títí ẹ̀ àtàwọn lẹ́yìn ìgbà náà mo rò wípé náà pọ̀ níbẹ̀ fún ọ̀pọ̀ àwa tí a jẹ́ mùsùlùmí ta níyàwó torí Ọlọ́run rán lọ́wọ́ rẹ̀ Ibrahim ọ̀rẹ́ Ọlọ́run tí Ibrahim ṣàlejò ẹ̀kọ́ kan nìyẹn látara àlejò yìí ni wọ́n ti fún ànábì Ibrahim nírò wípé yóò bí Ishaq sì jẹ́ tó jẹ́ nǹkan èèmọ̀ fún Sarah pé lẹ́yìn ọdún mélòó ẹyẹ fi mi ṣe yẹ̀yẹ́ ṣùgbọ́n táwọn màlẹ́kà sọ pé àdéhùn Ọlọ́run lélẹ̀ wọ́n tó wá wípé wọ́n ní wípé innama al-usri yusra tíyá ó ṣe lórí ní tó dé bá tọkọ náà fi ìgbóná ara dálé ara ẹ̀rú ilẹ̀ Ọlọ́run kì í ṣú bó ti wù wá ìyàwó Sára àti ẹ̀rọ tí a bí tàbí jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ ká máa ra wa pin ká ṣe sùn pẹ̀lú Ọlọ́run ká sì pé ọba tó gbàdúrà ìyá wa Sára Ọlọ́run náà nífẹ̀ẹ́ ẹnìkọ̀ọ̀kan wá sílẹ̀ ẹ̀kọ́ pọ̀ níbẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n gẹ́gẹ́ bí ayé sọ wọ́n dàgbọ́ lọ́n kí ó fún alágbọ̀ọ́yé ẹni ọkùnrin ọ̀pá ìrà.
òyìnbó Yorùbá inshallah ibi tá à ń lọ ní next month ni o ti yà sí yẹn inshallah mo sọ pé story yìí náà ni but advanced ideological bonding àwọn méjèèjì ni wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe kúfùrù but obìnrin yẹn ló ṣe kúfùrù tínú fífẹ́ bí màláìkà ìgbà no ẹ̀yin alàlùbẹ́ ìtẹ́ má ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ rí pé bonding yẹn is outside because he started arguing with the màláìkà over Lut. Lut was his cousin. So ibi tá à ń yà lọ nìyẹn ní next month inshallah. We are going to advanced ideological family bond. So we have just finished this. This is ordinary level family bonding. We are going to advanced ideological family bonding, inshallah ta'ala. Wallahu alam. Thank you very much. Can we go? National coordinator. You may wish to close this program. So
yes,
that
please. We should have the final remark from the national coordinator now.
We thank Allah that we have learned some other things today. I know I've picked my lessons, not only one lesson, a lot of lessons I've taken this morning. And I know that's how it is for all of us. Like somebody commented on the chat box, say, this money, deep gone. So we'll continue to expose ourselves to the pristine Islam according to the Quran and the Sunnah of the prophets. So it's that time for us to take it as well and practice in our life. I know those who are monogamous, or anybody, there's something for us to learn. And the environment, people, you can see, only maybe about 60, 70 of us are on this platform. What lesson? How do you want to carry it to multitudes of Muslims, thousands of Muslims that are in the society that we are having issues together? We pray Almighty Allah to be with all of us, preserve our Imam in our Khairat, and give all of us long life to enjoy the peace of this world and as well as enter the Al-Jannah of the hereafter. Jazakumullah khairan. To remind us, please, the registration for our Dawra is on. Let us go to the app on the Play Store.
Sir, before we leave, sir, Imam, there's a question in the chat box, and
what is it about?
Yes, the question is about in a situation where the first wife is childless and she's preventing the husband to take another second wife, another wife rather. What should the husband do in this case?
So a wife has no reason to prevent
next
husband.
one when we are going to hold another.
You can demand. Well, it depends on the details. If the man is sure that she's the one that is barren, because sometimes it may be the man that has problem. He now wants to have a child by all means by marrying a second wife through arrangee. So the wife will now say no. But if it is totally correct that it is the woman that is barren,
Can you close?
The man can divorce her.
Can you close?
No. All right, sir. All right. So we thank everybody for joining once again. I pray to Allah to the waters abundantly. Inshallah, by the end of next month, we shall be having another episode of this particular session. We pray to Allah to sustain us till then and continue to make our feet stand firm on this part of Islam. فسبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.